Okay, it is all about the Jays, some blockbuster moves. And you know what? We've been reignited as Jays fans. So joining me now, Mike Wilner, host of Blue Jays Talk on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. You said something very bold over there off camera. You said our chances of being in the playoffs are...
Yeah, I think they're pretty much in. I mean, you can't guarantee anything. Obviously, sports, you never guarantee. There are no guarantees. Doesn't matter how good you are. We saw Oakland do a lot of stuff at the trade deadline last year, and they wound up blowing a huge division lead and sneaking in. But, you know, they're 2 games back, and they've picked up 2 games on the Yankees in 2 days as well in the division. They still play them 13 times. This is one of the best teams in the league right now, and there's no reason at all that they shouldn't be in the playoffs.
In theory, yeah. Of course, the trade deadline, 4 p.m. today. Before we get into what could happen today, let's talk about what has already happened. Earlier this week, we get Tulo, and everyone freaks out. His first game out of the gates, absolutely incredible. He couldn't have asked for a better first game, and now Jays fans are going wild. What do you think he's going to do for our game?
Well, he's the best shortstop in baseball. I think, you know, there are little arguments you make if you want to pick nits here or there. There's a guy in Houston who's 20 years old who's got 40 games in the big leagues who's going to be really good. If he's lucky, he has a career like Troy Tulowitzki. He can play defense. He can hit. We saw it in his first game on Wednesday night, 2 doubles and a homer. Yesterday, the Blue Jays get 2 runs scored on him in the first inning. He leads off the bottom of the first, gets on base, scores a run, made a couple of terrific plays on defense. He can do everything. He's the best in the game, and this is it's Jose Reyes was lovely. Troy Tulowitzki is a lot better. Okay, so we get him, and then the talk was, of course, we need an arm. We need an arm, we need a pitcher, and then everyone was saying we need someone like a David Price. And then Alex Anthopoulos goes out and gets David Price. That was a bit of a shocker. That was a real shocker. I mean, I was sitting there saying, look, they don't need great pitching. They just need good pitching, decent pitching, because they have such a strong offense. You don't have to go out and get a top-of-the-line guy. But when David Price is available and you got a shot at David Price, why not? This guy's a top 10 pitcher in the major leagues right now. He's in the top 10 in every category in the American League. He's a true, legitimate ace. This is Roy Halladay. This is what the Blue Jays have gotten themselves now. A horse who's going to throw 7, 8, 9 innings every 5th day, give you a great chance to win. And again, with this offense, he doesn't have to be that good, and he is. Okay, could we see anything coming down the pipe today? We've got until 4 p.m. Anything with the Blue Jays? We could. I don't think it's terribly likely. I think they'd like to add a left fielder. I think they'd like to get another starting pitcher because their depth in the rotation is really not deep now. If somebody gets hurt, you're looking at Randy Wolf or Jeff Francis, and they don't want to have to do that. But I don't know how much money they have left. So if you want to bring in somebody who's good and get the other team to pay his salary, you're going to have to give up a really nice prospect. I don't know how inclined they are to do that anymore either after they've given up a lot of good kids. So they might do something. I wouldn't bet on it, but again, I wouldn't have bet on Tulowitzki or Price, right? What are the chances that Price is going to stick around because he becomes free agent after a couple months, right? Doesn't matter. Does it matter? I mean, get them into the playoffs, and we'll see. And Max Scherzer was the best pitcher on the market in the offseason last year. He got 7 years and $210 million. So David Price is kind of looking at that or more as a payday. And good luck to him. I mean, we'll see. When in '92 they got David Cohn, they won the World Series. He left. Nobody cared. So let's see what happens. Lastly, we got to look at other teams as well. The Yankees, they're going to be in town quite a bit in the next little while. Could we see any movement from them? Hopefully, for their sake. You know, they have to answer these moves. They have that big lead, but it could go away in a hurry. They play the Jays 6 times in the next week and a half. So, or sorry, 2 weeks. They're talking about them getting a Craig Kimbrell. They may be in on a Justin Upton. I think anybody who's really, really good, the Yankees really want right now. We'll just see if they're willing to give up the kids and if they have enough to get them. Do you think they're a little nervous seeing all the moves that the Jays got? A little bit. They should be. Yeah, they should be. I don't know if they are or not, but they should be. All right, so much more coverage is on the go. If you want to catch Mike on Sportsnet today, a special 1-hour MLB Central trade deadline at 4 p.m. Breaking news, all of the moves. You can also tune in tonight for Blue Jays Talk following the Royals and Jays game on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. So you are working until midnight? Yeah, taking your calls till midnight. So there you have it. Hopefully they do something tonight we can talk about. If not, we'll talk about Price and Tulo. Those are a couple of nice ads. You got it. All right, thank you very much, Mike. We're going upstairs to you, Kev.